Are you struggling with getting more customers to your barbershop? What's up YouTube? My name is Mike Joseph with VisualMedia Marketing, and in today's video, I'm going to show you 5 ways to keep your customers coming back to your chair. Let's start. Now before I begin, let me just talk about one of the most underrated skills in the barbering industry, which is arguably one of the biggest assets a barber can have. Now what is that skill? It's called customer service. And one of the biggest reasons why it's a big money maker for this industry is because it attributes to one of the biggest KPIs, one of the biggest reasons most barbers are successful in the game, which is customer retention. Now, if you're not sure what customer retention is, it's the ability to retain a customer over a specific period of time. Meaning, if you were to get 10 barbers, if you were to get 10 new customers this month, what's the likelihood that all 10 will come back for their next visit? Right? Knowing what that number is very crucial to growing your business and growing your books. So, and just to kind of give you a much more clear picture, let's say, your average amount of customers a month is around 100. Let's just say that's the number. So you cut around 100 people a month. And let's say this month you got 50 new customers. So in total, you got 150 customers that month. So now we know, okay, it's great, we got some extra money, that's perfect. The next thing you're gonna need to know or need to consider is what's your next month gonna look like? See, a lot of us are so focused on what we're doing right now, we gotta think about the future and how we can really set goals in order to really expand our clientele. So what I mean is, if right now this month you got 150 customers, 50 of them being new, what's your next month gonna look like and what's the month after that gonna look like? So if you know what your retention rate is, then it's very easy to predict and to create these sales projections of what that next month is gonna look like. Meaning if your retention rate is 50%, meaning if you got 50 new customers, at least 50% of them are going to come back, which is 25 customers. Meaning if this month you got 150 customers, 50 of them being new, the next month you should arguably get around 125 customers based on that retention rate. Now what we also got to consider on is if we can get a consistent flow of new customers, that's when your business starts to build. Because what happens is some barbers will start promoting, they'll start advertising, they'll get a bunch of new customers, and then 2, 3, 4 months go by and they're back to where they started and they wonder what happened. So what I'm trying to say is we want to create a snowball effect, and we do that by focusing on customer retention. So if we know we're consistently getting a constant flow of 50 new customers a month through either paid advertising, word of mouth, paid media, whatever it is, we can really see how we're going to grow. Meaning if this month you got 150, next month your returning clientele should be around 125. With that 50 additional new customers you got that month, that's a total of 175 customers. And then the third month, you're talking about getting a returning base of 150 customers. You add another 50 for that new customers coming in, you're now at 200 customers. Now you see how that starts to snowball over time? Now that's exactly why I wanted to make this video, not only to show you guys and explain to you what customer retention is, but it's not just knowing what it is, but it's how do you get these customers to come back? And that's what I'm about to dive into right now. Number 1, providing a unique experience or providing great customer service, right? These go hand in hand with each other, and I know we touched about it earlier in this video, but I feel like it's just not talked about enough in this industry, and I feel like it's, like I said, it's one of the most underrated skills a barber can have. Now, I just want you to just take it from the customer's point of view. These guys, people can go anywhere to get a decent haircut. So what's really going to separate you from the 20 other shops in your neighborhood? And it's really going to come down to a few different things. Obviously, your services, your staff, your skill level, but it's really going to come down to your customer service and the kind of experience you can provide to that customer. You see, the industry isn't really known for being the most professional atmosphere, right? You don't want to be that barber that takes smoke breaks while they have a customer in their chair, or having 3 different conversations on the phone while they're cutting their customer. This is your opportunity, especially for a new customer, this is your opportunity to really build a relationship so that, and you want to build it strong enough so they want to come back for the next experience. You got to treat your customers like they're people, because at the end of the day, they are. Right? We're all people. We all have issues. We all have things going on, and just to treat them like like they're not giving you money for that haircut, for that service, is a disservice, and it makes the industry look bad as a whole. So what do? Provide great customer service, treat them like a human being, greet them when they come through the door, and really take your time with your customer and get to know them, especially if they're a new customer, because at the end of the day, what you need to do is be able to get them to come back. Especially if you're running any ads or any promotions to bring these customers here, you're really going to see your profit on that second, third, fourth visit, on that lifetime value of the customer. 2, loyalty programs. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the concept of a loyalty program, what it is, it's a system that rewards your most frequent customers and rewards them with a number of different benefits such as coupons, discounts, free merch, any other added value that you have inside your shop. Now, loyalty programs do a couple different things. It doesn't just incentivize your customer to keep coming back, but it also gives them that feeling of customer appreciation, and which ultimately results in creating a deeper relationship for you and your customer, and also building that brand loyalty and that brand trust. And number 3, asking your customers to rebook. Now, if you watch any of my other videos, you probably heard me talk about this a million different times, but it's such a crazy free way of getting your customers to come back without, it's not costing you anything. It's literally 2 seconds to ask this question. And what I want to do for this video is kind of provide you guys with a script of what you should say, because I feel like a lot of barbers, a lot of you guys are having trouble asking this question without coming off too salesy or too cheesy. So this is what I would say if I was in your position at the time of sale with your customer, right? Your customer comes up and they're ready to pay out. You're checking them out. They're paying you the money for the haircut. And after you exchange, he says thank you. You guys dap each other up, whatever your system or process is. You ask them, hey, would you like to schedule your next appointment on the 27th or the 26th? We happen to be really busy towards the end of the month. Or it could even be at the beginning of the month, whatever it is, you just got to switch these words up. So like I said, you start off with saying, hey, we normally are busy around the end of the month. Would you like to schedule your haircut the same time for the 26th or the 27th? Right? We're giving them 2 different options for a reason. We're not saying, hey, would you like to rebook your appointment? That you're giving them an option to say no, and we don't want to do that. What we want to do is get them to commit to coming in on one of these days, and that's why we give them 2 slots. And if they want to change a different time within that slot, that's fine. Now, it doesn't have to be the 26th or 27th. It could be the 1st or the 2nd, or the 8th or the 9th. I mean, obviously, once your customer comes in, you can better gauge that by looking at the calendar, right? You obviously have a better idea of how frequent your customers are coming in, but like I mentioned, what we want to do is get them in the habit of rebooking, because if we do that, it's definitely going to help, again, with the lifetime value. And it helps when it comes to predicting your income and predicting the goals and setting expectations for yourself and for your barbershop. So again, you want to give them 2 options, right? A 26th or 27th, or whatever dates, because it works in your favor when you give them that instead of giving them the option to say no. Because when you do, they're more likely to say it. They'll say, oh, nah, I'll just do it next time. But if you give them these predetermined answers, they're more likely to do it. It's human psychology at its finest. Definitely try it, giving them 2 different options that work in your favor versus giving them the opt to say no. If they're gonna say no, they're gonna say no. And if we can increase the probability of them saying yes, let's do it by all means. Number 4, sending an email blast. Now, if you're unfamiliar with an email blast or what email marketing is, really it's taking this one email and mass sending it to your list of your subscribers and your previous customers. Now, when you do this, it's just another great way to get in front of your customers without physically having to be in front of them. Now, I recommend that you do this once a month, especially if you're sending an email campaign that's sole purpose is to bring in more clientele. You can do multiple email campaigns a month, but if you plan on doing it multiple times throughout the month, I recommend it be some form of a newsletter where you're giving value and tips, really nurture your audience. But definitely when it comes to getting appointments or getting more customers to come back to your shop, I would definitely send an email blast at least once a month, encouraging them to book an appointment. And you can do so by using certain promotions or discounts or anything like that. So 100% highly recommend you do it at least once a month. It's always good to stay in front of your customers. And last but not least, number 5, running social media ads. Now, if you're not investing in social media yet, 100% I highly recommend you do. Now, what I mean by running ads is, I'm not talking about just creating posts and posting them every day on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. I'm talking about paying money to the platform so they can sponsor your posts so they show up in the news feed. Because as we know, Facebook's organic reach is less than 1% right now, and Instagram is less than 10 to 20% for business pages. So what you have to do is take these posts that you're creating and running them as ads so now they can reach all of your audience. For example, if you have 2,000 followers and you're posting on Instagram, most like 30% is going to be on the high end of people who are actually going to see that post on their feed, unless they go and check out your page on a daily basis. So what you're going to want to do is run these ads so that 70% who aren't seeing your posts are going to see them. And Facebook's a lot worse. And what I mean by worse is less than 2% of your followers on Facebook are going to see your content, because Facebook is now becoming a more of a pay to play kind of platform, meaning you take your post, you want to sponsor that so you can show it in front of all of your existing followers. And the reason why I'm saying to your existing followers or whoever's following your page is because I'm talking about running ads against a warm audience versus a cold audience who hasn't heard of you before. Now, if you don't know the difference between the two, cold audience, people who've never heard of your brand, never seen your shop, never been in there, versus a warm audience, people who are already familiar with your brand, people who either purchased one or two of your services, or existing customers. That's a warm audience, and you're 4 to 5 times more likely to get a conversion from a warm audience versus a cold audience. So a cold audience, yes, we want to get new customers, but we also want to market to our existing customers to keep them coming back, to further increase our customer retention and increase the lifetime value of our customer. Now, if you like what you saw, hit the like button and drop a comment of what was a favorite thing that you learned from this video, or if you have any tips that you'd like to provide to the community. Also, by liking this video, you're showing YouTube's algorithm that this is good content and it's willing to show it and share it with more barbers like yourselves, and that way more people will start to learn how they can better themselves in their barbershops. And hey, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, that way you won't miss out on my next video and you'll be one of the first guys to see what's going on in the world of marketing and business for barbershops. See you on the next video. Take care.